At Hyaena Gallery, we're returning here for Rock is Dead, and that is curated by the Creep. Here with me is the Creep himself. Hello. Now, this is not your first show where you've curated. I know that you've done like the personal Hell exhibit that you did in '09.
Yeah, that was a solo show.
Solo show. Particular one was inspired by Jack Chick.
Jack T. Chick, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the background there?
You know, you're walking down the street and you maybe see a guy who's kind of like talking to himself and handing out little leaflets, and everyone's gotten one, but they're just little cartoon booklets, religious booklets, and they're hilarious. And I'm not anti-religious, but they kind of preach a lot of stuff that probably you wouldn't really see in the Bible. They're kind of, it's kind of an iffy thing. But I really like the illustrations, and that's what I have the little booklets, and I always like looked at them and got inspiration from them, so I thought, well, why don't I just do a show about them? Influenced by custom culture, like Ed Roth and Rat Fink and stuff like that. I got pretty big into the hot rod scene. But I've always been a horror fan, more of like, not so much the like slasher movie, more into like the kooky stuff. I like Monsters, basically. Monsters is a big influence on me.
Oh, cool. And then, so then, in February of last year, 2011, you did the sideshow exhibit. Tell us a little bit about that, then.
Well, I really liked looking through books and seeing the old photography. I mean, this is like late 1800s, early 1900s photography of the freak shows, and like it was all the Barnum days, and I just loved how, you know, not a lot of people got their photos taken, but when these people did, they dressed them up so they were so elegant looking, and just the juxtaposition between that and you know their looks, it really inspired me. And I really felt for the people, because they're just people, and they're just basically, they have to, their whole lives are, you know, they're on display all the time, and I kind of felt for them. But I mean, they were like huge celebrities back then.
How do you like normally bring out like beauty in that kind of dark element? What's your way of doing that?
Well, I just think there's beauty in anything. You can make anything. I mean, that's why people are fascinated with like Frankenstein's monster, or I mean, it's grotesque, but there's something real about it, and there's something human about it, and I think that's beautiful, and people, you know, find that in that.
The LA Weekly listed one of your paintings, the creature from the Black Leather Lagoon, as one of the top 3 monster paintings that are out there. And so this brings us up to today, where we are at the opening of Rock is Dead. This is the opening night. What sort of artists are involved with this, and maybe what we can do is go inside too and kind of take a look at some specific pieces.
Okay. Yeah. The show started out as I was going to do it as a solo show, and I was basically, it's a simple concept. It was just going to be a tribute to musicians that died that influenced me, and it was just a tribute show basically. And I think a lot of people like heard the title and thought I was making a statement on music today, on rock music. And yeah, I could probably argue that rock is definitely on the back burner in most people's minds, but people are still making it, and it's still strong. And I would hate to say that like people only care about Britney Spears, or I mean that's like a 5-year-old reference, but you know, like you know, Miley Cyrus. I mean, I think people really are still into good music. Harder to find nowadays.
Yeah. Are you saying that you know, since the '60s they've been saying rock is dead? Are you on record saying that rock is alive?
Rock is alive, but it's really hard to find. You can't find it on the radio. You can find it on YouTube.
Well, you know, like YouTube's interesting medium, because it is kind of kind of that carny vaudeville experience,
Yeah,
right?
that everyone can be involved in.
Right.
Everyone is now part of the freak show.
Yeah.
And it
Good,
kind of takes away from the specialness of being a freak, because now everyone can be a freak.
Right.
Everyone's getting their 15 minutes of fame,
Yeah.
like Andy Warhol said. And it's kind of a weird time.
This piece here is Shawn Dickinson's. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I originally got Shawn, on the blower and was like, hey, do you want to do the Rock is Dead show? And he's all about it. And I was like, well, who do you want to do? And he told me Screaming Lord Sutch. And I'm like, I'm not really sure who that is. But so he told me, and I looked it up, and he was kind of this, came up in like the late 60s, 70s, kind of doing, he did a song called Jack the Ripper. It's kind of like a novelty song. And he's kind of a novelty artist, but actually it's pretty cool. A lot of like surf guitar and stuff like that. But Shawn's, his aesthetic is very like 30s, 40s, style of cartoon. And I just love it.
And we see, here's Olive, right?
There's Olive Oil. He's got Bosco
Mickey
in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's it's totally Shawn, and I love it.
Okay, and then next to that, we have a piece called Silver, and this is by whom?
This is Cam Rackham. He is he's an awesome artist. He did this in oil. This was actually his friend. He was in Avenged Sevenfold, and I guess he was roommates with him, and just really good friends with him. And he died not too long ago, and Cam even took off like 6 months of doing art because he was just so broken up over it. And when this show came up, he was like one of the first guys I thought of, and he was all about it. And this is really it's an awesome piece.
This is not a photograph.
No, this is not a photograph. This
Amazing.
is oil.
Yeah.
And that frame is killer. You can't
That's a great frame for it.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece.
This here is the basically like the title piece that's on the poster, which you can see right here. Now over here, this is another one of your pieces.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool frame. I haven't ever seen anything quite like that.
Yeah, actually, my dad is pretty handy with wood and nails, and I
Nice.
draw up the sketches for what I want, and he banged this out, and it's total rock and roll.
Now, some of your background is in silk screening, and I kind of see how that must influence how you kind of center your images. But it also kind of, like I was saying before, really brings a lot of character and depth, I guess, is what I'm getting at. That's a great piece. And then over to our right is another Ramones piece that you've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you haven't gathered, I kind of like the Ramones.
Yeah. Now, does the name The Creep come from the Ramones at all?
No, it was kind of a, like I said, I was kind of brought up on custom culture, and all those artists I really love have like cool, creepy nicknames, and again from Ed Big Daddy Roth, like he had Dirty Doug and all those guys. So I always wanted like a cool moniker, and my mom always called me a creep when I said something that she didn't like. So it kind of stuck, and I guess I'm a creep.
Was your mom an artist, or your father? It sounds like your father must have
my dad
partaken in that.
is just kind of a handy, creative guy. But yeah, I have artists in the family. I mean, my little sister is actually a pretty good artist, and she's only 16. She's blowing me away already.
What's your art background? How did you get started?
I really don't have too much of an art background. It's just been drawing almost all my life, and never really pursued it outside of, like, I never went to art school, just kind of self-taught, and just kind of, it's kind of a hobby, but it's also a passion, and been doing pretty good lately.
Now this piece we're going to zoom to is by Gidget Gein, and that's really a rare piece, huh?
Yeah, this is a self-portrait by Gidget Gein. He was actually in the original lineup of Marilyn Manson, and he died, a few years ago. And this is, one of the last few pieces around, and it's awesome. It's watercolor on paper, and Bill was really close to Gidget, and he was an artist that showed at Hyaena a lot, and
Yeah, it's a nice tribute to have his piece involved with this.
definitely.
Yeah. We're looking at Kepi Ghoulie's work called The Dawn of Didi. All right, what can you tell us outside of the Ramones reference there?
Kepi is an awesome guy. He's the lead singer of the Kepi Ghoulies, and they since broke up. But he's been doing his own thing, Kepi Ghoulie, and he's just like When I thought of this show, he was another one that just kind of came to mind. Like, Kepi is rock and roll. He's doing it for rock and roll. He's trying to keep it alive, and he's obviously another Ramones fan. I think he was a little bummed I picked Joey already, so he went with Dee Dee. I'm kind of bummed no one did Johnny, but there's a lot of dead rockers out there that had to been covered. But Kepi's stuff is so like whimsical and it's just fun. That is rock and roll. It's just fun.
What is the length of it? When does it end?
The show actually started on September 1st, and it's going to go to the 31st. So yeah, you can stop in at Hyaena anytime. Basically Tuesday through Sunday, and check it out.
This is Jeremy Cross's piece here. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah, he did.
It's really it's been growing artistically.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, it seems like a really good turnout tonight.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations on a good turnout.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks very much for the interview.
You're welcome.
We're here with Big Tasty, and he is a few pieces that are part of this show. Let's take a look. All right. This is a Freebird one.
Freebird. And here we go. They're all busy turning into French fries.
Oh, that's awesome. Now this is obviously like a commentary on just kind of like the zombie effect of crowds.
Maybe. It's Klaus Nomi, that's for sure. Big fan of the guy. Little Buddy Holly action. You can't call this anything but the day the music died.
Nice.
No options.
I almost did that.
This is it watercolor and ink? Wow.
Yeah, I like inks because they're not resoluble in water. They don't get moist and go back into themselves, so you can actually do layers.
Nice.
This is Chuck, Ronnie, Dead, and Dimebag riding the roller coaster in heavy metal heaven. This is a tribute to Chuck Schuldiner of Death, who died in 2001, Ronnie James Dio, who died last year, Dead, who died sometime in the early 90s, and Dimebag, who died in 2004, I think.
Huh. I can see these up at Rainbow Room or something.
Yep. And then this is Scott Columbus, grilling it up at the BBQ in Heavy Metal Heaven. Scott. Some other guys. That's a VTech who died. He was decapitated.
Okay.
There's Randy Rhoads. And then over to the right, that's Cliff Burton. And then in the middle, that's good old El Duce from the Mentors.
That is definitely Heavy Metal Heaven right there. Nice.
Scott Columbus is supplying the beef.
Nice. That is great. Thank you. All right, thanks very much. Beautiful.